Hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a storage pool on your server. Um, so let me see, I'm on my server here and I'm just going to check. So I've got a 30 gig E and a 40 gig F drive, but I don't think I have any spare disks or drives. Let's go check. So I'm going to bring up Server Manager first and just click on it down here on the bottom. Let it load up, and then you'll see this file and storage services here. Let's see, and if you notice on this left side, there's a couple different choices. So I'm going to go to storage pools. So we're going to create a storage pool today, and you can see there's no storage pools, no extra disks or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some disks to my server in VMM. All right, so let me go over to VMM. I'm going to right click on my server name here and go to properties. And then I'll go to hardware configuration once this loads up. All right, let's see. And we'll add like 3 5 gig disks to the machine. So I'll go ahead and say new disk. All right, and I'll knock this down to disk 5 or 5 gigs, sorry. New disk, another 5 gig, and then new disk, another 5 gigs. So I've added 3 5 gigs on there. So I'll hit OK, and it'll start initializing that on the server. So let me pause real quick while those changes take effect. All right, those changes took effect, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to my server here. And so I'm back to storage pool, and so I'm going to go over here to task, and I'm going to say rescan storage, and it'll say it may take a while. I want to say yes, I want to continue. So now you can see down at the bottom here, it has found our 3 5 gig disks that we just put on there. So what I want to do now is come up to the top right under tasks and then say new storage pool, because I want to create a new pool from those disks. So this will open up the storage pool wizard. So I'll go ahead and just click next on this. And now it asks, do you want to give your pool a name? So I'll go ahead and name it storage pool 1. Storage pool 1, and then I'll say next. All right, and it asks what disks do we want to allocate here. So we want to select all of the disks. I'm going to go ahead and make one of them. You see they have this allocation here. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of them a hot spare. So that way I still get to take some redundancy into effect here. So I'll go ahead and make one a hot spare, select them all, and it says I've selected 15 gigs. Go ahead and hit next, and it shows all my settings here, what it's going to do. It shows my one of them is going to be a hot spare, and I'll say create. All right, and it'll go ahead and just gather the info, add the hot spare, etc. So what we'll go ahead and do too is create a volume or a virtual disk on this. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'll check this box here for create virtual disk when it closes, and I'll say close. And it'll say which storage pool do you want to use. So I'll go ahead and use this one, hit OK. And then that'll bring up the wizard. Say next, and I'll name this virtual disk 1. And I'll say next. Resiliency, I'll just skip that, say next. And then it asks what kind do you want, simple, mirrored, parity. I'm just going to go ahead and create a simple disk this time for this example, and hit next. And then it asks you if you want them thin provisioned or fixed disks. So I want to go ahead and do thin, so we save as much space as we can. Hit next. And now it's asking for a size. So we'll go ahead and do a 6 gigabyte size here. I'll say next, and then it shows all my steps. I'll say create. And then it's got a thing, it automatically checked it this time, and it says, do you want to create a volume when the wizard closes? So I'll leave that checked, and we'll go ahead and create a volume as well. So, and then I'll start this wizard here. So it'll say, okay, here's the disk. You want to do this 6 gig disk. So I'll say yes. We'll go ahead and do the full size, 6 gigs. I'll go ahead and assign it a drive letter. That's good, so we can use it. And you saw it was drive letter G. So file system, it gives you a choice. We'll go ahead and leave it NTFS. We'll go ahead and use default allocation size, and we'll call this volume 1 here. And I'll hit next, and then it shows all those settings we just chose, and I'll say create. All right, and then I can close it up. And then you can see here, I've got a storage pool made up of those 3 disks, which it takes up some of the space. And you can see I also have a virtual disk now, a 6 gig one that we created. So if I go and look at my machine here, and I go to this PC, so now I do have that volume 1 G drive that we just created, this 6 gig drive that we created from 3 5 gig disks that we put in there and created our pool from. So it's just like a normal drive on your server. That's it for the demonstration on how to set up a storage pool. Thanks a lot.